Next question we have is a topic that I'm pretty passionate about. I know First Sergeant's very passionate about.
Oh.
The Junior Enlisted Council. We do a lot of things great in the military for Junior Enlisted Council, and then there's everything else we do with the Junior Enlisted Council. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we think it is, what it should be, what are the challenges, what are the benefits, what are the expectations of a Junior Enlisted Council.
So we could talk about this for a long time, so
Yes.
we'll try to keep it concise. Junior Enlisted Council, in my world, is a command sergeant major mandated program. It must be on the training schedule. It is a requirement. Okay, fine. The Junior Enlisted Council is supposed to be a forum or a method for which junior ranking soldiers can make their viewpoints or their opinions known, that their voice can be heard. That's it's not doctrinal, but basically that's what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to give them a feeling of empowerment that their voice is heard. Okay. Now, what I've seen in my experience is that if there's a Junior Enlisted Council at all, oftentimes there isn't, then it's basically a session. It's either a bitch session, or it's a session to provide an AAR. What's supposed to happen? What did happen? 3 and 3, and those notes are the most basic and a lot of times useless of notes. If that's what you're going to spend your 30 minutes doing, you don't need a 30-minute block of time to do that. Number one, I'm approachable as a first sergeant. You can come and tell me what you think at any time anyway. You don't need this mechanism to do that. But since there just really isn't a lot of active supervision of a Junior Enlisted Council. Basically, it's like, you lower enlisted, go off into that room and I'll see you in a half hour. That's about all the supervision they get in my experience. I know that it can be more. I want to use the Junior Enlisted Council as a development tool. You don't have to give me an AAR 3 and 3 in your Junior Enlisted Council. I don't care if you ever do that. Use that time how you think is best to develop whatever skills you want to use. So this is your dedicated block of time to do that. And it's a wide left and right limit, because you can do nothing but have a bitch session and nobody's going to fire you. You can turn in a novel to me and nobody's going to fire you. Or it might be things that can't be implemented. So it's what you want to make of it. You know, in the Air Force, a lot of times the Junior Enlisted Council gets engaged in the community. I mean, they find activities to involve themselves in, but we're not active duty. We have a very limited time. So how do you use this limited time that we've given you to develop yourself? Now nobody's in there cracking the whip, so I'm not going to make you want to. We are going to keep the time on the schedule because that's mandated. What you guys do with it is up to you. Now, does that absolve me of any responsibility? No, because at the unit level, the first sergeant is responsible for the Junior Enlisted Council. How I take that is it's my job to give you guidance and to follow up on what you're doing. So I can tell you what I think, point you in the right direction. I think it can be useful if you guys do this. I can suggest that you do drill and ceremony, or that you teach classes, or that you collectively think of something that you want to learn together and do that. You can even think of you need to go off-site and do something. We'll make that happen. But develop ideas that you think are going to help you. That's the guidance that I give, and that's the follow-up that I offer.
Yes. What I would add to that is that rank changes perspective, always. So that as you grow in rank, the way that you see duties and tasks and missions within your unit will change. The Junior Enlisted Council, or at junior levels, and I want to note too, we're not suggesting that it's only E4 and below as junior, okay? But at the junior levels, you see more task-specific components, and you're in the weeds, to say, in lack of a better words, every day within the mission. So if First Sergeant gives me a task or provides me an intent, I will see that intent in a significantly different way than he sees that intent, because he thinks at the more strategic level. I'm more at that direct organizational level, to use doctrinal terms. So the Junior Enlisted Council is a way to capture perspective and to see, hey, how can he provide better strategy to us? and how can we develop our skills to provide the results to meet their strategy and intent. So it's an opportunity for me as a leader, as an NCO, to gain the understanding of the junior level people so I can be a better leader for them. Because remember, as NCOs, you have two customers. Your customer is your troops, and your customer is the intent that the commander gives you, the task. So mission first, troops always. Those are our two customers. And if you're not meeting the intent and the needs of your troops underneath you, or having a forum to capture that, you're not going to be a successful leader. You're not going to inspire them to provide discretionary effort, and you're not going to be good. You're not going to get the results that you need to move up, and you're not going to help your organization move to the next level.
So let's talk about how discretionary effort plays into this discussion specifically.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, I'm a first sergeant. I've got the time on the schedule. I've checked the block. Bing. So you can go into that room for 30 minutes, and I can never follow up on it, and nobody's going to fire me. Okay, so I can do that little. As the junior enlisted personnel, you can go in that room, talk about the ball game, and nobody's going to fire you. Okay, so you can put in very, very little effort to make this productive. I can do that. They can do that. So everything above that is discretionary. It's you have to want to. You got to volunteer to put in that effort. So it's a proactive, meaningful effort for me to think of ideas that will help the council, to pick somebody and then actively follow up with them and expect them to deliver me what their plan is for the next meeting, and to also talk to all those people and tell them what my intent is, and not just let it lie. Because during drill, I'm asking what's the plan. At drill, I'm participating with them and making sure they have the productive meeting. So I know there's only so much that I can do, but I'm doing all that I can to provide guidance and follow-up so they can succeed if they want to.
I don't even know if I can add to that. Just remember that the doers of the organization are the backbone. You might not have a company that has hundreds of people with lots of NCOs. You might have, one E7, two E6s, four E5s, and a crap ton of E4s, right?
Crap ton.
Crap ton. Got it. That's a metric term.
Oh, it's metric, Canadian. Got it.
Canadian term. You have to understand that whoever is doing the tasks of your organization are the ones who are going to help make the intent a success and realized. Okay, so if you're not capturing their perspective and helping or learning to understand what they think and how they can provide things to do better or worse, or if they like your ideas or not, that's all important for the higher level leaders like E8s or the sergeant majors or the commanders to help facilitate and deliver a better strategy, help them reach the intent that they need to meet. The Junior Enlisted Council is can be an extremely powerful tool to capture that data. But if you just let it go and don't push that and create an intent like First Sergeant was saying, and then it becomes a bitch session.
Now also, in order for me to create an intent, I have to have an idea of where I want it to go.
Exactly.
And maybe this is my first sergeant gig, so how do I run a junior enlisted council? I have no idea. Where do I get guidance on that? Well, let me research that. Discretionary effort, number one. So basically what I ended up doing was I researched several junior enlisted council articles that I found the commander of an Air Force wing in Massachusetts, called that commander, 06 commander, asked him about the Junior Enlisted Council, pointed me to her sergeant major equivalent. He sent me products of the annual conference that they have surrounding this. The paper products that they offer. And then I found another Air Force base, because Air Force is big on Junior Enlisted Council, in Oklahoma. Talked to a tech sergeant and a staff sergeant down there, got their perspective on how their junior enlisted councils run and what they talk about, so that I can better form an intent given the resources that I have at my unit. And that's a ton of discretionary effort, and didn't have to do it, but since I'm here to provide an example, that's the discretionary effort that some of it that I've put forth just to make the Junior Enlisted Council something meaningful.
Yeah. Do you still have those content that we can share with everybody on this video?
I have the content. I have the
find
digital
it.
products.
Yeah, we should share that with everybody. All those articles and such that you did.
Sure. Now, again, this is geared toward active duty. They have an annual conference that their people are there all day, every day. So that type of event is suited to how much time they have to
Sure.
dedicate to that effort. But at least it gave me an idea of the topics that they cover, and the ground that they want to cover, and how into it that they are.
Yeah. So to summarize, if you can give just a quick bullet, what is a junior enlisted council? What are the benefits, and how can people watching take this knowledge, take it back to their units, and figure out what to do with their unique junior enlisted council?
It's an opportunity. It's a time for the junior enlisted. You can define that as E6 on down or E4 on down. I prefer the E6 on down. That's just an opportunity. It's a ball of time, and it's a blank canvas chance that you have to make what you want of it, to learn what you want to learn, bring those ideas to the front, get resourced for it, and use that time. So it can benefit you because you're learning from each other. It's teaching you how to take initiative. You put somebody in charge of it, let them ramrod that group, and see to it that is what's done during those sessions.
Yep. So post comment below 2 comments. 1, what is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in a junior enlisted council? Mine is, I wish the chow was better. Post that, and also what ideas do you guys have on how you're going to utilize your junior enlisted council to help make your organization more successful? We'd love to hear your ideas. Maybe we can take some of them back to our units and continue to move the organizations closer to optimum success. Hoo-yah.